We have a lot of information coming out about the newly announced cloud gaming service Luna from Amazon. I'll leave a link to my previous video here where we went over the announcement of what Luna is, where you'll be able to play it, and how much it will cost you. But since then, we've gotten some more details around the games available on Amazon Luna and the specification which it will be running, which we're going to go over today. So firstly, for any of my fellow Android users who are concerned with the announcement of the platforms available at launch, we have some more information on Android availability. For those who missed it, at launch, Luna will be coming to PC, Fire TV, Mac, and iPhone and iPad via web applications. However, Amazon Luna head Mark Whitten has stated the Android version should go live within weeks of the early access launch. But what exactly is Amazon Luna working with under the hood, and how does that stack up to competing cloud gaming services? In a recent Verge article, it was announced that Luna will be powered by Windows servers and run NVIDIA GPUs. Before we get into the actual specifications, just the fact that Luna is powered by Windows is already a massive advantage when compared to Google Stadia, which is Linux-based. Their issue being that most games are actually developed on Windows, and this appears to be one of the biggest reasons why the Stadia library seems a bit lackluster, and a reason why they've struggled to get some titles on day one, because essentially they need to be rebuilt to get them to run on Stadia. Whereas for Luna, using Windows has allowed them to immediately launch with more titles than are available on Stadia right now, and they will certainly be quick to add more in the future. This stance will most likely gain developer support for Luna, as less time, effort and money would be required to make their games accessible on the platform, whereas we've already seen the likes of Epic Games say it's not worth them supporting Fortnite on Google Stadia because of the effort required to maintain yet another version of the game, and then they took a pop at Stadia's small player base. So where we've been saying for a long time that Stadia needs those high volume player-based games like Fortnite and Warzone, Luna could very well likely make that a reality, with games like Hyperscape already confirmed as part of the Ubisoft channel. Okay, I went off on a bit of a tangent there, but now we're going to get into the specification. So the AWS or Amazon Web Services server instance that will be running Luna is the EC2 G4. I mean, surely you've heard of that, right? Come on. So because this is a commercially available server instance, I'll actually leave a link in the description to the AWS page with all of the gritty details, but here are the key takeaways. The server uses an NVIDIA Tesla 4 GPU, which is running the Turing architecture that powers the RTX 2080 and 2080 Ti cards, which does confirm that ray tracing will be possible on Amazon Luna. It's also running a custom Intel Cascade Lake CPU, which is a second-gen Intel Xeon chipset, but because it's a custom CPU, unfortunately we don't know the exact specifications, with the Cascade Lake series ranging from 8 cores all the way up to 28 cores. And finally, we know these server blades run on NVMe storage, which means, fingers crossed, launching in and out of titles on Amazon Luna should be pretty quick. All in all, that puts the performance of Amazon Luna at 8.1 teraflops. But how does that stack up compared to other cloud gaming services? So if we take that teraflop value, Stadia is running a custom AMD GPU, which runs at 10.7 teraflops. xCloud uses Xbox One S server blades, which unfortunately currently only sit at 1.2 teraflops. However, Microsoft has already confirmed that they will be upgrading to Xbox Series X hardware in 2021, which uses AMD's new RDNA 2 architecture, which is capable of 12 teraflops. And GeForce now don't officially state what their hardware is, but it's believed to be a custom NVIDIA Tesla P40 running at 11.76 teraflops. So at 8.1 teraflops, Luna sits about in the middle ground in terms of performance, and to be fair, Amazon hasn't claimed that they're targeting that next-gen market, but with what we know about the specification, I think it's safe to say that Luna is capable of running most of the current-gen titles at 1080 and can probably push to 4K as they've stated. But where you're really going to see that performance difference compared to some of these other cloud gaming services is in the streaming quality. The AWS infrastructure is kind of massive, estimated to be 6 times larger than the next 12 cloud hosting providers combined, and that includes Microsoft Azure, which runs xCloud. As well as that, we've already talked about Windows versus Linux, and it's a fair shout to say some of the performance issues we've seen on Stadia in the past has been because of some of these strange ports that developers have had to do to get their games to run on Stadia. So by running native Windows, we should expect the actual game performance to be better comparatively. But I'm interested to hear your thoughts on the specification of Amazon Luna and how it stacks up to the competition. Was you expecting more with this current next-gen transition period we're in? Do you think it's about right for the price? Let me know what you think in those comments down below. I'm always down there reading your comments and replying to you guys. But now we have a good understanding of what's going to be running our games. What's more important is what games are going to be available to play on Amazon Luna. With the model Amazon is going with, there's a base set of games available for that $5.99 a month subscription, and then additional developer-specific games available as add-ons in what Amazon is calling channels. So the best way to think about this is kind of like building a cable package. We don't yet know the prices of these individual developer channels, but we have learned that if you're not interested in the base games available on Luna, you do have the option to just subscribe to a developer channel. So if you're just interested in checking out Valhalla, for example, you can just sign up to the Ubisoft channel itself and ignore the $5.99 Amazon Luna base subscription. But what has been confirmed as part of that base subscription? So far we have a list of 72 titles, which I'll throw up on the screen here instead of reading through them one by one, because that doesn't sound fun for anyone. So you may be thinking, 72 games? I thought they said they were launching with over 100 games. And that does appear to be the case, but that is when combined with the Ubisoft channel. That back catalogue of Ubisoft titles hasn't been confirmed yet, but we do know that future releases like Far Cry 6, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and Immortals Phoenix Rising will be available on day one on the Ubisoft channel. We can most likely expect the rest of the catalogue to include previous titles from franchises like Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Ghost Recon, The Crew, and probably some of the more party and family-oriented titles that Ubisoft own, like Monopoly and Uno. This is just speculation on my part, but even if a lot of these titles are missing at launch, we can probably expect them to arrive in a quick succession, again because of this ease of porting them over because of it running on Windows. So all in all, in terms of the game library, again, Amazon Luna kind of comes in at middle ground with more titles than are currently available on Google Stadia, whose library currently sits at around 90, but less than we get on xCloud, which is currently at around 150 titles, but set to grow with the recent Bethesda deal. But what do you think of this game selection available on Amazon Luna on day one? Is there anything you wanted to see that's missing? And also, what are your thoughts on the next potential studio to become an available channel? Let me know what you think in those comments down below. But that's it from me. So of course, if you enjoyed the video, you found it particularly helpful, a like rating would be appreciated. If you haven't already, remember to subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications so you don't miss the next video. Hope everyone's staying safe out there. And as always, I shall see you in the next one.